Okay, so in the last lecture, we have started our new point of the chapter, that is vertical curves. Okay, we have started the new point, that is vertical curve, in the last lecture. In the vertical curve, we have started vertical curves. In the vertical curves, we have to deal with the two parts. One is summit curve and another one is valley curve. Okay, in the vertical curves, we have to deal with the two parts. That is, one is the summit curve and another one is the valley curve. Okay, so in the last lecture, we have started about the summit curves, and we have seen what are the different types of the summit curves, which one is the most suitable for the summit curve. We have seen that square parabola is the most suitable curve for the summit curve, and also we have seen the different how the summit curve forms with the different gradients. Okay, when the rising gradients with another rising gradients, that is ascending gradients meets with the another ascending gradient, then summit curve forms. Then the ascending gradient meets with the straight flat gradient, then also summit curve forms. When the this is ascending gradient, this is flat. Okay, gradient is 0. Another case is the ascending gradient meets with the descending gradient, then also the summit curve forms. Also, when the descending gradients meets with the another descending gradient. So these are the four conditions we have seen in the last lecture when the summit curve forms. Okay, the ascending gradients meet with the ascending gradient, ascending gradients meet with the flat gradient, that is second part. Ascending gradient meets with the descending gradient, and descending gradients meet with the descending gradient. Okay, so these are the four conditions we have seen in the last lecture, which are responsible for the formation of the summit curves. Okay, we have seen the overview about the summit curve in the last lecture. Now we will move forward and see how the length of the summit curves are formed. Okay, so the design consideration is mainly deal with the finding out the length of the summit curve. So our main purpose of designing the summit curve is to find out the length of the summit curve. Okay, so we will see now the important design aspects of the summit curves is the determination of the length of the curve, which is parabolic. Okay, so generally we decide to go for the parabolic shape for the summit curve, and we have to find out the length for that summit curve. As noted earlier, the length of the curve is guided by the sight distance consideration. That is, the driver should be able to stop his vehicle if there is an obstruction on the either side of the road. Okay, so it is depends on what the summit curve design is, depends on the stopping side or the side distance, stopping side, overtaking side. Okay, on these side distances the summit curve length is depends, because driver how much length is required to driver to stop the vehicle. So depends on that criteria we will design the length of the summit curve. Then the equation of parabola for the summit curve, it is given as y is equal to an x square divided by 2l. This is the equation of parabola for designing the summit curve. And n is the angle of deviation, l is the length of that curve. Okay, so this is the equation of parabola whenever we design the summit curve. Then there are two conditions or two situations when we design the summit curves. These two situations or conditions are when the length of the first is when the length of summit curve is greater than or equal to side distance. And the second condition is when the length of summit curve is less than the side distance. This side distance may be SSD, may be OSD. Okay, so we will see now how the summit curves are, or how the length of the summit curves are find out by using the formula, different formula. So we will see now first condition, that is the length of summit curve is greater than side distance. Okay, the length of curve is greater than side distance. This indicates what? This indicates what? So, as this is the curve length, okay, and suppose this is the, where is the any obstruction? This is the side distance. Okay, this much is the side distance, yes, and this much is the length of curve, yeah. In this condition, what will happen? The length of the curve is greater than the side distance. Okay, so in the first condition, what is the case? The length of curve is greater than the side distance. So in this case, we will see now how the length of the curve is find out. So let the L is the length of the summit curve and S is the SSD, OSD or ISD. N is the angle of deviation, H1 is the driver's height, and H2 is the height of obstruction. Okay, so see here, there are two different, as we know, N is the deviation angle. See here, two new terms are introduced, H1 and H2. H1 and H2. What is H1? It is driver's height. Okay, from the ground level or the surface of the road. It is the driver's height from the surface of the road, and this is standard. We are taking it as 1.2 meter. This is very important. It is taken as 1.2 meter. While discussing SSD, OSD, we have seen the height of the driver. It is taken as 1.2 meter, and height of the object, that is H2, object height, and it depends on when, it depends whether we are dealing with the SSD or OSD. H2, that is object height, is different from for SSD and different for OSD. Okay, for SSD we are taking 0.15 and for OSD we are taking it as 1.2 meter. Okay, we have seen when we are discussing regarding that one at that point. Now also we will see that how the formula will differ when we take the SSD and when we take the OSD. Okay, now you will see the formula. See here, this is the formula for calculating length of the summit curve when length of the summit curve is assumed as greater than SSD. Okay, the length or the side distance. Yes, indicates side distance. That may be SSD, that may be OSD. Okay, the side distance may be SSD, may be OSD. Okay, so see here, this is the length of the curve L. This is the side distance, yes. Means in this figure you can easily understand the length of curve is greater than the S. This is side distance. And for that condition, L is equal to an S square divided by 2 into bracket square root of H1 plus square root of H2 whole square. Okay, bracket square. This is very important formula for calculating the length of summit curve. Please write down first condition. Please, everyone, please write down. Everyone, please write down. Give the heading as length of summit curve. Length of summit curve. Length of summit curve. In this first condition, case 1. Case 1. L is greater than S. Case 1. L is greater than S. L is greater than S. That is, L is the length of summit curve and S is equal to side distance. Okay, L is the length of summit curve and S is the side distance. Okay, for that write down the formula. L is equal to, we have to solve the problem regarding this formula. Please, so everyone, please write down this formula. L is equal to NS square, NS square divided by ns square divided by 2 into bracket square root of h1 into bracket square root of h1 plus square root of h2 whole bracket square. Write down this formula. This is very important formula. This is very important formula. Write down. This is for first case, first condition when L is greater than yes, and L is greater than yes. Everybody, have you written? Written this formula. So now see here, as we know that below that formula, write down. We know that for SSD, for SSD, H1 is equal to how much we will take for SSD? Height of the driver 1.2 meter. Write down below there. For SSD, H1 is equal to 1.2 meter and H2 is equal to 0.15 meter. H1 is equal to 1.2 meter. H2 is equal to 0.15 meter. Therefore, the formula will become as L is equal to an S square divided by 4.4. L is equal to ns square upon 4.4. If I will put instead of H1 1.2 meter here and instead of H2 0.15, and if I calculate this figure, it will become as 4.4. Okay, so write down this formula for SSD. Length of summit curve L is equal to ns square divided by 4.4. Write down everybody. Please write down this formula. We have to solve the problems regarding this formula. Okay, we have to solve the problem on this formula. So write down this formula. And now for OSD, as we know for OSD, H1, that is height of the driver, it is taken as 1.2 meter, as well as height of the object H2 is also taken as 1.2 meter. Okay, as we know that for OSD, H1 is equal to 1.2 meter as well as H2 is equal to 1.2 meter. Therefore, the formula will become as L is equal to ns square divided by 9.6. Write down this formula. Everyone write down this formula. This is formula when we are using SSD, and this is formula when we are using OSD. Okay, this is for SSD and this is for OSD. Write down this formula. So we will have two different formulas. One is for SSD and another one for OSD. That is stopping side distance and overtaking side distance. First, when the length of curve is greater than or equal to stopping side distance, L is equal to NS square divided by 4.4. And when the L, that is length of summit curve, is greater than OSD, that is we are dealing with overtaking side distance. At that time, L is equal to NS square divided by 9.6. Okay, is it over? Shall we move forward? Okay, we will move forward now. I hope all of you have written this formula. Now see case 2. This is second case. When length of curve is less than side distance. Here the length of curve is less than side distance. Yes, is the side distance. Okay, write down case 2. Case 2, length of curve less than side distance. Length of curve less than side distance. For that, write down this formula. As per the IRC, as per IRC, L is equal to 2s minus 2 into bracket square root of h2 plus h1 bracket complete whole square divided by n. Okay, this will be the formula. Also write down there. As we know, for SSD, h1 is equal to 1.2 meter and h2 is equal to 0.15 meter. Therefore, L is equal to 2s minus 4.4 divided by L. And for OSD, h1 is equal to h2 is equal to 1.2 meter. Therefore, the formula will become as L is equal to 2s minus 9.6 divided by capital L. Okay, write down these two formulae. 2s minus 4.4 divided by n and 2s minus 9.6 divided by n. Okay, so these two will be our generalized and new formulae for SSD and OSD while calculating length of summit curve. This formula for what? For calculating the length of summit curves. Write down these both formula. For one is for SSD, another is for OSD. Whenever we are calculating the length of the summit curve, we should keep in mind whether we are dealing with SSD or OSD. Okay, we have to keep in mind whether we are dealing with the SSD or OSD because the formula will have changes for SSD and OSD. Okay, because the height of the object for SSD it is different and for OSD it is different. As well as the reaction time for SSD it is different. We are taking the reaction time for SSD as 2.5 seconds and for OSD 2 seconds. It is also different. Height of the object is different. H2 here we are taking 0.15 meter and for OSD H2 we are taking 1.2 meter. H1 is same for both 1.2 meter height of driver. Okay. So it is very important that we should analyze whether we are dealing with the stopping side distance or overtaking side distance. Complete it fast. Completed. Okay. Okay. We'll move forward now. So write down. Write down the question. You will see one problem regarding this. Write down this question. Write down this question. A vertical summit curve vertical summit curves formed at the intersection of formed at intersection of two gradients plus 3 and 5% plus 3% and 5% minus 5 plus 3 and minus 5% plus 3 and minus 5% full stop. Design the length of summit curve. Design the length of summit curve to provide stopping side distance for a design speed of 80 kmph. Design speed of 80 kmph. Full stop. Assume the data. Assume the data as per IRC. Assume the data as per IRC. Please read question carefully before starting to solve. First, read the question carefully before going for the solving. Read question carefully before start to solve. Okay, how we will solve the question. So see here, instead of this, we'll store on the whiteboard. Okay, so first we have to write the given data. What we have given in the problem, they have given ascending gradient plus n1 as a 3%, descending gradient minus n2 as a 5%. It is given as minus 5%, and the velocity is also given as 80 km. Instead of this, anything else is given.
SSD condition.
SSD condition. Okay, we have to go for with the SSD condition. Okay, but we don't know whether length of the curve is greater than SSD or less than SSD. Okay, so we will assume first. We will go with the assumptions. We will assume first the length of the curve is greater than SSD. If it is not so, we will go with the second assumption. Length of the curve is less than SSD. Okay, so for this condition, first we have to, and we know the formula when the length of curve is greater than SSD. How we calculate the summit length of curve? L is equal to, what is the formula? Just now only we have written NS square divided by 4.4. Okay, so this is the formula we have to use Now here, see what is n. As we know, n is equal to, as first one is the ascending gradient, that is plus n 1, and second minus of second one is the minus descending gradient. So it will become as 3 minus of minus 5 is equal to 8%. How much it will become? 8%. So is equal to 0.08. Okay. What will be the n? Capital N we know. What is S? That is SSD. Only thing is what? We have to calculate the SSD. And we know SSD is equal to what? SSD is nothing but lag distance plus braking distance. Okay, as we know, what is meant by SSD? SSD is the lag distance plus braking distance. And we know the formula for lag distance and braking distance. What is the formula? 0.278 VT plus braking distance is square upon 254 into bracket F plus radian n%. Okay, we have to go with the formula as lag distance is 0.278 VT and the braking distance is square upon 254 F plus or minus n%. Plus or minus, when we take plus, when there is a ascending gradient, and when we take minus, when there is a descending gradient. But see here, in this case, both the ascending as well as descending, okay, ascending as well as descending gradients are given. Okay, so when we take plus or minus, F plus or minus n%, we know the formula. When we take plus, when there is ascending gradient, when we take minus, there is a descending gradient. But in this case, we have given both the ascending as well as descending. So neglect, because plus will neglect the minus gradient, neglect gradient. So in this case, we have to neglect the gradient. So neglect this n% value. Okay, we will neglect this n% value. Now we have to just put the values into the formula. 0.278 into velocity is given as 80 into T. What is T? It is the reaction time. And for SSD, what is T reaction time? T is equal to 2.5 seconds. For SSD, T is equal to 2.5 seconds. So into T, that is 2.5 plus V square, that is 80 square divided by 254 into F. What is the coefficient of friction we are dealing? What is the standard value of coefficient of friction? As we know, 0.35. Okay, because they have given in the question itself, they have suggested go with the standard values of IRC. Okay, whenever it is required, you should assume the IRC standard values if they are not given. Here the not SSD, that is reaction time is not given. We will assume for SSD 2.5 seconds. When we are dealing with the OSD, we have to take 2 seconds. Okay, and for coefficient of friction, we assume 0.35 always. Okay, longitudinal coefficient of friction. So by this way, we will get some values of SSD. How much it will become? Please tell me the answer. How much will be the value of SSD? just simply do the calculations. Calculate the value of SSD. Four thousand and two. Okay. Another one. SSD 114.2. Anything else value? Say it is 128. It become, so here the SSD is came as 128 meter. SSD here is, it is 128 meter. Okay, 127.59. Very good. Same answer. See, if you have not got the same answer, please see where you went wrong. It is near about 128, something 127.57 something meter. Okay, so we will, it is 128 meter near about. The value of SSD near about 128 meter. See, you might have gone wrong with the calculations. Do once again calculation. See where you got wrong answer. Very good. Same answer. 128, 128. Also, we know that we are using the SSD formula when lag distance plus breaking distance. You might be thinking that the formula is VT plus V square upon 2GF. You might be thinking this is the formula for calculating SSD. Okay, so there are these two, both formulas are there. When to use this formula? When V is in meter per second, we should have to go with this formula. And when the velocity is in kilometer per hour, kmph, we have to use the formula that we have used now. Okay, there are two different formulas for calculating SSD. One is for okay, so these are two different formulas. One is for when velocity it is given in meter per second, that is Vt plus V square upon 2GF. And now we have used this formula. Why? Because velocity is given in kmph. This is formula when velocity is given in kilometer per hour. Okay. Now this is now we have calculated SSD. Now we will see now. I will drop this portion. Now we have completed up to SSD. So now see here. Now only I have calculated SSD and I have to calculate now what? Length of the curve. that is length of the summit curve. Okay, and I have assumed that length of summit curve it is greater than SSD. Okay, I have assumed that length of summit curve it is greater than SSD. So formula will become as ns square divided by 4.4. So what is my n? 0 point, as we have calculated here only, 0.08, that is n into s 128 square divided by 4.4. That will be your length of transition curve, sorry, length of summit curve. So tell me the answer. Two 98. Okay, let's see. 1, 2 questions have answered. Another, please try. What will be the answer? I will also check. 0.8, 0.08 into 128 square divided by 4.4. Right answer 297.89. 297.89 meter. This is near about 298 meters. Okay, and now see here. What we have assumed here, length of as L is greater than S here, length of curve is greater than the SSD. We have assumed. Now see here, what is the length of the curve? 298, and what is the SSD? 128. Hence it is okay. 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 Very good. All of you have answered correct. So see here, at the beginning we have assumed that length of curve it is greater than SSD, and it is came as 298, where and it is greater than SSD. SSD were 281 meter, 128 meters. Okay, so hence it is okay. So at the last, write down length of summit curve is equal to 298 meters. Okay, if the length will be less than SSD, then we have to go for the second. That is another assumption that LEL it is less than SSD. Okay, if the length will be less than SSD, we have to go with the second another assumption. Length is less than SSD, and the formula will be different. But here, L it is came as greater than SSD, so no problem. Our assumption is right, hence it is okay. Is it over? Shall we move forward? Okay. Okay, so see here now. Our answer is right, 298 meters. Write down the second question. Write down the second question. An ascending gradients and ascending gradient of 1 in 100 1 in 100 meets a descending gradient 1 in 200. Write down the question. A summit curve is to be designed for the speed of 80 km/h so as to have an overtaking side distance of 470 meters. Now we have to go with the formula regarding OSD because in the problem itself it is given as we have directly given the overtaking side distance. We need not to go for calculation of OSD. Only we have to calculate length of summit curve. Write down the question. Okay, so see here what is given to us. Ascending gradient, that is positive. It is given as 1 in 100. Okay, and descending gradient is given in 1 in 200, 120. Okay, so how to calculate n by this we will see. And also velocity it is given as 80 km/h and OSD it is given as, instead I will write here, OSD it is given as 470 meters. Okay, this much is given data. Try to solve. Try to solve the questions. I will also help you. Try to solve side by side. Okay, we'll see now answer. First, whenever we are dealing with the any problem, we have to think what to start, what we have to calculate first. Okay, for that we have to write the formula first. Suppose I will assume here, assume length of the curve it is greater than OSD. Okay, I will assume first length of the summit curve it is greater than the OSD. And for length of curve greater than OSD, what is the formula for calculating L? Length is equal to ns square divided by 9.6. Okay, this is the formula. Now, S is the length of curve, OSD that we have known. It is given directly 470 meter, and just we need to calculate the n value. Okay, we need to only calculate the n value. Okay, now we will see angle of deviation. As we know, n is equal to, first is the ascending gradient, that is 1 by 100. Second is the descending gradient, minus into bracket, as it is descending, minus 1 by 120. So 1 by 100 plus 1 by 120. Tell me how much it is. 0.0
0.018.
0.018. Okay. 0.018. Everyone see whether the answer is correct. 0.018. Okay. So this is our value of n. Now, as S is given directly, now we will see the length of curve is equal to n 0.1, sorry, 0.0183 into S square, that is OSD. What is given? 470 square whole divided by 9.6. Tell me the answer.
421.780.
421.85 something, nearly equal to, I will take 422 meters. Okay, near about 422 meters, there is the length of our summit curve. But see here, but what we have assumed, length of curve is greater than OSD. Okay, first only we have assumed the length of curve it is greater than OSD. What is the value of OSD? 470. What is the value of L length? 422. Okay, so it is wrong assumptions. We have assumed wrong. Okay, now I will assume that length of curve is less than SSD. As the length of curve it is 422 and it is less than OSD. So we will go with the second assumptions, that is assume that length of curve it is less than SSD. Sorry, OSD, we are dealing with the OSD. Length of curve is less than OSD, and when the length of curve it is less than OSD, what is the formula? L is equal to 2S minus 9.6 divided by L. Okay, is equal to 2 into S 470 minus 9.6 divided by N value 0.018. Calculate.
406.66.
सर असं कसं तुम्ही एकदा 5 डिजिट पर्यंत घेतलं, एकदा 2 डिजिट पर्यंत घेताय, म्हणजे नेमकं कितीपर्यंत डिजिट पर्यंत घेऊ दे व्हॅल्यू?
For the most accurate, go with the 4 digits. At least you should go with the 4 digit. It is no problem at all if you go with the 3 digit. Okay. Answer just change येते का?
हा सर 6-7 डिजिटचा फरक पडतो.
So go with the direct 4 digit 1833, more accuracy. Okay, we will go with the more accuracy then. If the answer is very different, if I take 0.018 and if I take 0.018333, if the answer is giving more different values, then go with the more accurate value. Directly take the value as 0.0183333, whatever it will be. By using this, how much? So, how much the value will be? 4,
417.
419,
17.
17. Okay. Everyone, please calculate. Near about 417, the value will come as the length of curve, summit curve. And whenever you are dealing with the problems like this, if the values are too much different, if I take the 2 digits only after point, if I take the 4 digits after point, okay, at that time you have to go with the direct answer which is there on the calculator वर जे answer असेल तेच direct तिथे घ्यायचं. Means what is n? While calculating n, you have done n is equal to 1 by 100 plus 1 by 20. Keep that answer as it is. After that, do 2 into 470 minus 9.6 divided by answer. Okay. Likewise, directly do the calculations by calculator. No need to type there 0.018. Direct do divide by answer. It will give you the more accurate answer. How much it will give? You will see. I will do that calculation. 1 by 100 plus 1 by 150. We are about 417, 416. Okay. So directly use whatever the answer is there on the calculator. Calculator जे काय answer येईल तेच directly ठेवायचं. That will gives you the more accurate answer. Write down this. Okay, we will move forward now. Okay. Now we have calculated this. This has 14415.4. Okay. So take this problem for homework. Write down everyone. This problem for homework. Write down this for problem everyone. It is for homework. Is it over? झालं का लिहून? Okay. Okay, we will move forward then. Last point of our chapter is valley curve. Okay, it is same like summit curve. Only summit curve is in upper side gradient and the valley curve will be in the lower side. Okay, there are also 4 conditions for the summit curve. There are also 4 conditions for the valley curves. See which will be the conditions. See here. What is the first condition? First condition of the valley curve is when a descending gradient meets another descending gradient. See figure number 1. Okay, so in this figure, what will be the first gradient is descending and another gradient is also descending. Means what? First it is negative, second is also negative. When the descending gradients meet with the flat gradient, okay, first gradient is descending and another second gradient is the flat one. What is the third criteria? The descending gradients meet with the ascending gradients. See here, the descending gradient is the first, and second one is the ascending gradient. When an ascending gradient meets with the another ascending gradient plus ascending gradient, positive, positive. Okay, so this will be the 4 conditions for the formation of valley curves. Okay, when the curve is in the upper side, it is like this, then we will call it as summit curve, and when it is like this, then we will call it as valley curve. Okay, the same 4 conditions, not the same, but there are also 4 conditions for the summit and there are also 4 conditions for the valley curves. Okay, so we'll move forward. So these are the 4 conditions. Please write down these conditions. Four conditions. Write down these 4 conditions. For valley, give the heading as valley curve. There are 4 conditions or the 4 ways for the formation of valley curves. Write down first one. First one. When the descending gradients, when the descending gradient meets with another descending gradient. Another descending gradient. Second, when a descending gradient meets with a flat gradient. Third, when a descending gradient meets an ascending gradient. Last fourth one is the when an ascending gradient meets another ascending gradient. If you want, you can draw that 4 figures for the 4 conditions. If you want, you can write these 4 conditions. Done. Okay. Now see here, there is no restriction to the side distance at a valley curve during the daytime. Okay. See here, it is very most important criteria is the side distance. Okay. The most important criteria is the side distance. Whenever see here, I will give with the example. I am driving the vehicle. Okay. See, if I am driving the vehicle, my vehicle is here. Okay. And I am driving in this direction. So this is summit curve. And this is what? Valley curve. Okay, this is summit curve and this is valley curve. Okay. Whenever I am driving the vehicle, I have, if my vehicle is here, I have the less side distance. Okay. Side distance is very less. Okay, whenever I am driving on the summit curve. But when I am driving on the valley curve, I have lot of side distance. Okay, when I am driving on the valley curve, then I have lot of side distance. But this is only when in the during day conditions. Okay, but whenever I am driving in the night, my side distance is only my headlight of that my vehicles. Okay, how much will be the side distance? During the night time, the side distance will be only the distance traveled by the headlights. Okay, at daytime I have a lot of side distance in the valley curve, but during the night, if I am driving on the valley curve, my side distance is only the distance of the headlights. Okay, so it is very important to calculate the headlight distance during the night. And how to calculate, we will see that. In the absence of or inadequate of the street light, the only source of visibility with the headlights. If there is the street lights are there, then also there is no problem if the street lights are there. But in the absence of street lights, it is very important to calculate the headlight distance. Hence, the valley curve are designed to take into account of the headlight distance. Okay, so it is very important whenever we are designing the valley curve to calculate the headlight distance. In the valley curves, the centrifugal force will acting downwards along with the weight of the vehicle, and hence impact of the vehicle will be more. This will result in the jerk of the vehicle and cause the discomfort to the passenger. Okay, so this is second criteria. What is the first criteria? We have to go for the headlight distance calculation. And what is the second criteria? This criteria is regarding the comfort conditions of the passenger. Okay, whenever we are traveling on the descending gradient, that is on the valley curve, okay, our speed is also more. Yeah, the descending gradient will help to the increase of the speed. Also, my weight of the vehicle is also in the downward direction. Okay, so with the greater speed, if I suddenly apply the brake, it will jerk more to the passenger. Okay, it will use more jerking condition for the passenger. So it is not comfortable. So also I have to design the road such that there is a comfortable condition for the passengers. And in most of the cases, it is designed like meeting of two transition curves. Okay, in the most of the conditions, the valley curve is designed to meet two transition curves. Okay, meeting two transition curves. Okay, most of the times the valley curve is designed as meeting of two transition curves. Okay, that will use the more comfortable conditions for the passengers. Okay, I will move forward. So this is regarding the valley curve and what are the important criteria that we need to consider during the designing the valley curve. Designing the valley curve means what? We have to decide the length of the curve. Okay, and for this we have to go for with the two conditions. Thus, the most important design factor consideration in the valley curves are impact-free movement of the vehicle. That is what the passenger should not feel the jerks, and availability of the stopping sight distance under the headlight of the vehicle for the night driver. Okay, while we are driving in the night, we have to think about the sight distance due to that headlights. Sight distance due to that headlight condition. Okay, that also we have to think. Means what? The first condition is regarding to the comfort, and second condition is regarding to the safety condition of the passengers. Okay, these two conditions we have to keep in mind whenever we are designing valley curve. First is the comfort condition, and second is the safety condition of the passengers. Now, for the gradually increasing the centrifugal force acting downward, the best shape that could give the valley curve is the transition. Now only I have told that for reducing, for gradually applying the centrifugal force on the curve, just we have to simply provide the two transition curves meeting to each other. Okay, but in the reality, most of the cases, the cubic parabola is generally adapted for the valley curve. Star point, write down cubic parabola. Is generally preferred for vertical valley curves. This question is asked MPSC 2015. Cubic parabola is generally preferred for vertical valley curves. Okay, write a note there. Note. Cubic parabola is generally preferred in the vertical valley curve. If you want, right there, it is asked in the MPSC 2015. MPSC 2015. Write the note there. Cubic parabola is generally preferred in the vertical valley curves. Okay. During night, under the headlight driving conditions, sight distance reduces and the availability of the stopping sight distance under the headlight is very important. Okay. During the night, what will happen? The sight distance reduces. If there is a daytime, I will have the more sight distance in the valley curve, but during the night, as or the sight distance is only considered regarding the headlights of that vehicle. Okay, so it is very important to calculate the headlight distance. The headlight sight distance should be at least equal to the stopping sight distance. Okay, minimum headlight distance that we have to keep is at least stopping sight distance of that vehicle. Means what? By the headlight, if I observe any obstruction is there in front of me, I will suddenly apply the brake and my vehicle will get stopped. So how much will be the minimum headlight distance? It should be at least stopping sight distance. Okay. There is no problem of the overtaking sight distance at a night. The other vehicle with the headlights could be seen from the considerable distance. Okay. There is no problem regarding the OSD because what? If I have to travel overtake the another vehicle, I will see the another vehicle coming from the another lane because of his headlights. Okay, because of its headlight. But if there is any obstruction, I will not get that obstruction when I will get that obstruction only when my headlight will be there on that obstruction. Okay, means what? It is very important to calculate SSD, that is stopping sight distance. Okay, we need to go. We need not to go for the OSD in this condition. OSD is not that much important, but in the valley curve, it is very important to calculate SSD. Okay, stopping sight distance. Okay, so how to calculate the length of the curve? It is on the two conditions. First one is the comfort criteria, and second one is the safety criteria. Okay, first criteria is comfort criteria, second is the safety criteria, as we have seen now. And the equation of parabola, we have seen in the summit curve as well, the equation of parabola. And here for the valley curves, the equation of the parabola is y is equal to n x cube divided by 3l square. This is the equation of parabola for valley curve. And we have to go for the two criteria in this curve. First one is the comfort criteria, second criteria is the safety criteria. Comfort criteria is regarding for giving the comfortable centrifugal force along that road. Okay, so for that purpose, the centrifugal acceleration, it is assumed as standard 0.6 meter per second cube. Centrifugal acceleration for the valley curve, it is taken as 0.6. Okay, you will see when we write that formula regarding that, you will see at that time. I will give there also. So see here, first one is the comfort criteria. Write down first criteria for calculating the length of valley curve. Give the heading as length of valley curve. Length of valley curve. In that first criteria is comfort criteria. First criteria is comfort criteria. For that, write down the formula for length of valley curve. L is equal to 2 into square root of 2 into square root of NV cube divided by C. NV cube divided by C. NV cube divided by C, where N is equal to angle of deviation, where N is equal to angle of deviation. V is equal to velocity. V is equal to velocity, and C is equal to rate of change of centrifugal acceleration. Rate of change of centrifugal acceleration, that is C, and it is equal to 0.6 rate of change of centrifugal acceleration. C, it is taken as 0.6 meter per second cube. Rate of change of centrifugal acceleration, meter per second cube. Meter per second cube. Write down this formula, comfort criteria. Okay. So this is the length of valley curve for the first criteria, that is comfort criteria. Now we will see for second criteria, that is safety criteria. Second, write down second safety criteria. Safety criteria also headlight sight distance depends on what? Headlight sight distance. Headlight sight distance. Headlight sight distance. In this criteria, the length of valley curve, may be determined by the two conditions. May be determined by the two conditions. त्यामध्ये नंतर दोन कंडिशन आहेत. What is the first one? The first condition is length of valley curve greater than the stopping sight distance. Here we are only dealing with SSD. Okay. Length of valley curve greater than SSD. Second condition, L is less than SSD, that is length of valley curve less than stopping sight distance. Write down these two conditions. In that, the first case is when L is greater than SSD. We will see the formula for that. When L is greater than SSD, here when L is greater than SSD, the formula, write down the formula. When L is greater than SSD, L is greater than SSD, write down the formula. L is equal to NS square divided by 2H1 plus 2S tan alpha where below that write down where N is the angle of deviation. N is the angle of deviation. Below that, S is the SSD. Now H1 is equal to height of headlight. H1 is equal to height of headlight, and it is taken as 0.75 meter. Height of headlight, it is taken as 0.75 meter. Write down there. And alpha is equal to headlight angle headlight beam angle and it is taken as 1 degree. Alpha is taken as 1 degree. When I put this H1 as 0.75 meter and alpha as 1 degree in this formula, the formula will become as, so below that write down, therefore L is equal to NS square divided by 1.5 plus 0.035 into S. Write down the formula. When I put H1 as 0.75 and alpha as 1 degree, then my final formula will become as NS square divided by 1.5 plus 0.035 S. 0.035 S. This is for case 1, that is L is greater than SSD. This is for this, we are dealing with case 1. L is greater than SSD. Greater than or equal to. Okay. Write down this formula. Completed. Okay. Okay, we will see now for second case. Case 2, write down L is less than SSD. Length of valley curve is less than SSD. Case 2, L is less than SSD. Write down the formula. L is equal to 2s minus 2h1 plus 2s tan alpha, 2h1 plus 2s tan alpha divided by n, Here also, if I put H1 as 0.75 0.75 meter and alpha as 1 degree, then my formula will become as 2s minus 1.5 plus 0.035 s divided by n. Okay, so my formula will become as L is equal to 2s minus 1.5 plus 0.035 s divided by n. Okay, so this will be my generalized formula. I can say when I put h1 as 0.575 and alpha as a 1 degree. What is h1? h1 is the height of light. Okay, headlight, height of the headlight h1, and alpha is the angle of headlight. Okay, and as per the IRC, height of headlight it is taken as 0.75 meter and angle of that headlight beam it is taken as 1 degree. If I put these values into this formula, then my formula will become as like this. Write down this formula for case 2, L is less than SSD. Done. Okay, so see here, there is one note. Note that the above expression is approximate and it is satisfactory because in a practice the gradient are very small and is acceptable for all the practical purposes. See, this formula we are using for only satisfactory condition to calculate the length. Okay, but in practice the gradients are provided such that they are suitable for the all conditions. Okay, in regular practice the gradients are provided such that they are suitable for all the practices. This is for our satisfactory conditions for calculating the length of the value curves. Okay, and also we will not able to know the prior to which case to be adopted. Therefore, both has to be calculated, and the one which is satisfactory condition, it will be adopted. Okay, in the prior condition, we don't know whether we go for the comfort criteria condition or the safety criteria condition. So in the prior, we have to go with the both the criteria, comfort as well as safety, and by taking the values of those two criteria, we will analyze at the final which condition should be adopted, which will give the better results. Okay, so these are two conditions that we have to that we require to calculate the length of valley curves. And thank you. Okay, so this is our last slide. We have completed our second chapter, and whenever there will be our next lecture, we will have test on this second chapter. Whenever there will be our second lecture, okay, so be prepared. There maybe I will take tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Okay, I will take the test. So be prepared for the test. I will share this PPT on your group. Okay. So you can mark your attendance to chat box, then you can leave the lecture. Thank you for attending the lab class. You can mark your attendance to chat box, then you can left.